Hey, gorgeous ones! We're back with another episode of Turn Up the Love Live. Thank you so much for joining me for another week and for watching. I'm Sarah Pettis, body positive intuitive eating coach and the founder of turnupthelove.ca, and I help serial dieters to stop the self-critical body talk, obsessive calorie counting, feeling guilty around food, and exercising for punishment by teaching them how to trust food and their bodies again. And this week, we're talking all about how to love your body and why loving your body actually means doing what's best for her. Not doing what you feel that you need, but actually doing what it is that is best for you and your body. So we're going to get into all of that today, but the main things that I wanted to really chat about today is, first and foremost, if you want any chance at all at feeling happy and free within your own skin, then you absolutely cannot in any way necessary forget this essential piece that I'm going to share today. Okay. The second thing is why self-love doesn't mean abandoning all of the healthy principles that you've likely set out for yourself when you've decided that you wanted to create a healthy lifestyle. It doesn't mean abandoning all of those things because the diet industry is cheeky and you want to leave that behind. It's about, and especially if you've been, either doing the all or nothing mentality. If you've been either eating extremely healthy and on track 100% of the time, or you've been eating complete crap. So it's really talking about how self-love does not mean abandoning those healthy principles and just eating all the junk and crap instead. Okay. And last but definitely not least, I want to help you to walk away today feeling like you can start acting like you love your body today. And I'm going to kind of give you some ways that you can start to implement that now, because this needs to happen. This is absolutely the foundation that needs to be set in order for any area of your life to expand upon. And this is exactly why self-love is so incredibly important to me, because I know that until I was in that place of self-love with myself, I was unable to show up and be the best version of myself in any other area of my life. So this is deep work, you guys. And I'm going to help guide you along the entire way. So give me your hand and we're going to do this together. But before we do that, if you could just do me a favor, because this is a big topic, because this is a message that really needs to spread far and wide, and I absolutely cannot do that without your help. I would really appreciate if you could share this out to anyone who is currently struggling with self-esteem issues, anyone that has been comparing their self-worth to others, especially on social media. It's a tricky bugger. Or anyone that might be constantly putting others before themselves, because that is an imperative way of knowing that they may be lacking self-love in their life. Please, 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 if you know anyone like that or anyone that could benefit from watching this episode, please share it out to them. I would appreciate it so, so much. Okay, thank you. All right, so a couple housekeeping items before we dive on into today's content. First and foremost, for the entire month of February, we have been talking all of the things self-love. If you follow me on any of my social media channels like Facebook and Instagram, especially, those are the two places I tend to hang out most. If you've been following me there, then you definitely know that we've been talking all things self-love. And mostly I decided to set that up is because February is an extremely challenging month, both mentally and emotionally. So I thought there would really be no better time to talk about this topic than in the month of February, because we all need our inner love dials turned up, but especially now. So over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about some really juicy topics, such as why self-love absolutely must come first before anything else in your healing journey. It absolutely has to be the first thing to set that strong foundation. Secondly, we talked about how to treat your body like your BFF, not your worst enemy. We dove into that last week, and if you want to catch the replays of those episodes, you can just head on over to turnupthelove.ca and you can rewatch them there. But this week, we're going to be talking about, like I said, why loving your body means doing what is best for her. So that's what we're diving into today. Now, I was, you guys who follow me every week, you've probably noticed this, but I was going to cover one more topic next week that was going to be about if you want to change the world and if you want to make a shift in this planet, why that all has to do with by starting by loving yourself. We were going to dive into that next week. But, however, because we have the Back to Love Challenge, which is kicking off next week on Monday, if you're not already inside, guys, the countdown is on. We are starting on February 26th. Doors open tomorrow. I'm letting the girls into the group, welcoming them into the space where we can get things going. We're kickstarting our pre-party in there tomorrow. So because that's going to be running for the month of March, yes, you read that correctly, or heard that correctly, I guess I should say. It's going to be going on for the entire month of March, which means that is 5 weeks that we are going to be diving deep into the self-love principles. And we are going to explore and expand and tear apart and put back together our self-worth with love. So if that sounds like something you can get down with, then you definitely want to sign up for the challenge. Like I said, kicking off on Monday, February 26th. Do not miss it. And I'm going to be adding the link for that in the replay on this video, so you can check back there, or you can check it out in the bio on Instagram as well. Okay, guys? So because we're going to be doing that, I'm putting all my time and energy into this challenge, so I've decided to put that topic on hold for another time. Hey, Rochelle, what's up? We got some girlies on here. Thanks for tuning in and being here. Yeah, I'm super excited for the challenge as well. Rochelle is all signed up and ready to go. It's gonna be really awesome, and I'm excited to see how it all rolls out in the span of 5 weeks versus 5 days, and see how we can really go deeper here. Because, girl, you know I like to go deep with my info. All right, so why don't we get things started for today? Again, talking all about why loving yourself means doing what's best for your body. So question for today for you. When you hear body love or love your body, what do you feel? What comes up for you when you hear that? Love your body or body love. What are you feeling? Do you feel good inside? Do you cringe a little bit? Are you kind of like, oh God, not this again? Are you rolling your eyes, being like, forget it, that does not apply to me? What comes up for you? Tell me honestly. Come from a place of honesty and vulnerability. That's what I'm looking for here. So oh my gosh. I used to hate the term loving your body. I was like, how in the hell can I love my body when I can't even look in the mirror? Like, I close my eyes when I'm getting dressed. There's no possible way that I am going to be able to even say that I love my body. Like, there's no way. And really, I felt that way because I thought that loving your body meant loving all parts of her. Like, just absolutely gushing over all parts of her. Like, oh my God, like I love like every wrinkle, and oh my God, I love like my double chin, and oh my God, like I literally thought that it meant like being like adoring every single part of myself that I hated. And I was like, that is not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen. I also thought that loving your body meant that I had to let go of how I looked, and I had to stop working on improving her. I had to be like, well, I guess that's as good as it's going to get, and just be done with it, and then just carry on treating myself like crap. That's really what I believed. And I really thought that I couldn't change and evolve if I loved my body. It was just like, no, you're good, you're accepted, done, right? And the biggest part of this is I also thought it meant letting go of eating healthy. I thought that, okay, well, if you love yourself, then guess what? You can drown in a bag of potato chips. You can drown in a pint of ice cream. You can get all the fast food you want because you're good. You love yourself. So what does it matter? Why do you have to worry about taking care of you, right? Yeah, well, I was so incredibly wrong. I was so incredibly wrong. All right, so we got some comments in here, hearing what you guys feel or what comes up for you when you hear love your body. So Rochelle says, I get annoyed. Like, who are you to tell me what to do? I'm fine. Yeah, like a little bit of defensiveness, right? Like a little bit of like, excuse me, no thank you, right? Like you get kind of like, ooh, stir something in you. And I get that. I was exactly the same way. When I first started out on this journey, I was like, stop telling me to love myself. Like, you don't know what I'm feeling. You're not the one in my head. You're not the one having to live in this body every single day. Like, you just don't get it, right? Especially when I was at my heaviest and I was like so uncomfortable. Like I said, I'd close my eyes to get dressed in the morning. So it was tough. But I realize now, after really delving into this work and coaching women and really being a part of the space, that I was so incredibly wrong when I was in that place of not understanding, like not fully getting what it is that body love and self-love actually meant. And I'm going to explain exactly why I was totally wrong on today's episode. I'm going to really get into that today. But before we actually get into that, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, because you guys know I like my scales of 1 to 10. Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, have you ever felt any of these feelings that I'm currently sharing about just kind of being like, kind of unnervy about the whole body love thing, or like Rochelle said, coming from a place of like just back away, like get away from me. Does that resonate? Like, are you kind of in this place? I just want to know where you're at. So 10 being all the feels. I'm currently feeling like that right now. I hate when people tell me to love my body, including you, Sarah, so stop. And 1 being, no, I'm in a really good, healthy place with my body. I'm evolving on a whole other level. Let me know where you're at so I can kind of figure out what you guys are, where you are in your journey, and maybe what you're struggling with and how I can support you. So while you guys are answering, I'm just going to kind of recap for anyone who is just jumping on now. So what we're talking about today is why loving your body means doing what's best for her. Not necessarily why loving your body means doing what you want. It's doing what's best for her. And we're going to explore that a little more. I also want to dive into, if you want absolutely any chance of feeling happy and free in your own skin, why you can't forget this one essential thing that I'm going to bring up today. We're also going to be talking about why self-love does not, by any means necessary, mean abandoning healthy principles and just eating crap instead. It does not mean that, like I thought that it did. And last but definitely not least, I'm going to help you to walk away today with things that you can do to start loving your body today in this moment. Okay, so Rochelle says, I don't get annoyed as much because I am working on it, so I'm open-minded. Hell yes. And she totally is, you guys. Rochelle is absolutely showing up every single week. She's always here for these Facebook Lives. She's always, engulfing herself in any content that I'm putting out. I know, like, she's showing up on Instagram as well, sharing her own story. Like, it's pretty fantastic, Rochelle. And I've even seen a shift in you since I first met you, probably just under a year ago now. So well done, and keep up the good work. You're fantastic, goddess. You're so amazing. Kim says, I'm okay with loving my body, but I'm not happy in my skin and want her to be better. Okay, so Kim is coming from a place of loving herself. However, she's not fully yet happy in her skin, and she is still wanting to improve. Is that right, Kim? That's what I'm hearing here. And that totally makes sense. Completely, it makes sense. So what I want to start off by chatting about is, like I said, if you actually want, let's dive into this right now. If you actually want to feel happy and free in your body and in your skin, You cannot forget this one thing. And this is the one thing that I totally forgot when I was in the mud of dieting, when I was trying to manipulate and change my body into being this perfect ideal size that society had kind of mapped out for me. This is the one thing I totally forgot, or didn't even click, because it wasn't even a part of my universe. Like, I had no idea that this even existed or it even made sense. So what do you guys think that is? Like, what do you think this essential piece is that I'm about to bring up? If you could guess, what do you think it is? This essential piece that so many people, I find, forget when they're on this journey of like learning intuitive eating, learning how to love their bodies again, and learning how to connect with themselves, and learning how to feel free in their own skin. What do you guys feel that it is? I'm just catching up on some comments on Instagram here too. If you're watching the replay, that's why my eyes are going in two different directions. We have someone talking about needing to work on their abs, getting summer ready, feeling the pressure to do that. They have 4 cream eggs waiting for them. You are in the right place. I can't read your name fully. Mikhail, you are in the right place. You are totally in the right place if that's what kind of you're battling right now. Okay, so the essential piece that so many people or women that I work with tend to miss or forget when they're trying to feel free in their own skin is that they forget that self-love, and coming from this place of acceptance and care, self-love actually means honoring all parts of yourself. It means honoring all parts of yourself. And what do I mean by that? Okay, let me catch you up to speed. When we honor all parts of ourselves, we are not just honoring the physical body. And what the weight loss industry does, and what we get so quickly sucked up in, is that we only think about our physical body because we obsess about our physical body and how it looks, right? And what it looks like in the mirror. We obsess about that part of ourselves, so much so that when we're thinking about health, we are forgetting that we are also a mental body. We are also an emotional body. We are also a spiritual body. And yes, we are that physical body. So we have to really, if you really are serious about this and you really want to heal and find love within yourself, you have to consider all of these parts of you. Okay? We really have to take inventory on all of these parts of ourselves, right? And I mean, the thing with this that's tricky is this is forever changing, right? We're constantly needing to assess and look at where we're at now versus, where we're going, and what we need is going to change in any given moment, okay? It's going to change in any given moment. It can change on a moment-to-moment basis, right? And I figured, the best way to sort of describe this to you guys, and the best way for me to sort of nail this down, is that if you think about it, okay, think about a child, okay? Think about a little toddler, just learning how to walk, can barely speak, tumbling down every so often, very high maintenance, on the go, totally needs a ton of nurturing and care, right? However, their needs are going to change on a moment-to-moment, minute-to-minute, day-to-day basis because they're growing, they're evolving, they're like this sponge, right? And they're just reaching these new levels of understanding and intelligence and just doing normal day-to-day things like learning how to eat and learning how to walk and learning how to use the potty and those things. And really, that is kind of where we're at on these journeys too. Even though we're in adult bodies, we are still on these exact same journeys where we're trying to figure out what it is that we need on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis, okay? We're constantly growing. We're constantly evolving. Our situations are changing from time to time. So it's extremely important that we are willing enough to self-reflect and pivot if we need to when it comes to all of those parts of our being. So again, that's the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, and the physical body. Does that make sense, you guys? Is that making sense to you? So really, like, we absolutely have to consider that self-love is honoring all parts of that, not just that physical. And that's why working out and controlling your foods and doing those things does not make you feel free when you hit your goal weight, because you haven't even addressed those other areas of who you are. Your makeup, right? You haven't even addressed those things, right? And what's challenging is most disconnected eaters, they feel disconnected because they've forgotten how to care for themselves. They've abandoned care. They don't know how to care for themselves anymore. And that's why they tend to self-soothe with food. They use that as a coping strategy when they don't know how to care for themselves. They're not in that place of knowing of like, okay, I need to give myself a bath today. Okay, I need to sleep in today. Okay, I need to get out and go for a bike ride rather than work and answer these 100 emails, right? They've forgotten what caring for themselves feel like, right? And sometimes it's extremely hard for us to remember that we always have the power. We always have the power within us. And we can give ourselves what we need at any given moment within reason and within tools and resources. We can get there, but we have some action we have to put into place if we want to be a millionaire. We have to do things, right? So if we are able, though, to give ourselves what we need at any given moment. Would you say that that's true? If we choose to, we can, we're the ones that can take action and make those things happen, right? So Kim is absolutely, she's following, she gets it. Of course you do. So the best way I found, because as disconnected eaters, and we've become so far from this place of being like, okay, I can give myself what I need in any given moment. I'm entitled to that. I have to care for myself. If I'm not looking out for me, then no one is. Because that is such a challenge for us as disconnected eaters, the best way for you to do that, in my opinion, this is kind of what I did when I was getting started. And I was like, okay, Sarah, you need to learn how to give yourself what it is you need. You guys, my hair is driving me crazy today. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me I need my hair. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so what I was going to say is the best thing that you can do to kind of help you to get started with doing this is to... What is something you always have on you? What is something you have on you at all times? Your phone. Sorry, Instagram. Your phone. You have your phone on you at all times. So that's going to be the best way for you to check in. And the best way to do that is to set an alarm on your phone to go off every single hour. Every single hour until you get to the hang of this, until this becomes second nature. And have that alarm say, right when it pops up, what do you need right now? Or what does Sarah need right now? Or what does Kim need right now? Or what does Rochelle need right now? Have it come up on your phone and ask you, what do you need right now? And then ask yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, what do I need right now? Right? And I want you to just quickly, in that moment, write down one thing for each and try to do that thing right away if you can. I mean, obviously, if you're at work and you need a bath to kind of unwind, it's not going to be doable, but maybe that's something that you give yourself that night when you get home from work, okay? So I want you to write down one thing for each of those categories and go do it for yourself. Make it important. Make it a must. Make it something that is a priority that you do not negotiate on, and you give that to yourself. Now, sometimes these things might overlap, like the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, they may overlap, which is great because then you're hitting things off more quickly, right? So for an example, I wanted to give you guys an example of this. Say my alarm went off on my phone and it was like, what does Sarah need right now? And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I have all these ideas in my head. I don't even know where to start. I feel overwhelmed. I have so many things to do, but I don't even know. I'm just, oh my God, I'm just spinning. Maybe that's how I'm feeling. So what does Sarah need right now? Well, mentally, I need to do a brain dump. I need to just get out a piece of paper and just dump all the things that are on my mind and get it out. So that way I'm not storing it in my head. Okay. So that would be mentally what I need to do. Emotionally, what do I need to do emotionally? How can I refuel my emotions? Well, I need to verbally share what I have on my plate with a friend. So I need to pick up the phone and just call a friend and be like, hey, what's up? I just need to verbally get this out. I just need to talk this out to myself out loud. Hear me out for like 5 minutes and then just get it out. Just verbally get it out of you. Spiritually, okay, what can I do? Well, I need to sit in silence, because when I sit in silence, I tend to receive better guidance. I tend to hear what it is that I need to do next. So I need to get into a place of stillness and need to get into a place of silence. And then lastly, but definitely not least, physically, what can I do? Well, I want to do this while soaking in the tub. So then there we go. While I'm in the tub, I'm writing up my thoughts of all the things that I need to get out of my head. I'm picking up the phone, calling a friend after I've done that, venting it all out to her, and then I'm allowing myself to sit in the tub and just listen. And there I've covered all parts of myself. Because self-love says self, and self involves 4 components. So we cannot forget that those components need to be in alignment and balance with one another, not just all physical or all mental or all emotional. Okay? I'm glad that that's resonating with you guys and your understanding. Have you guys thought about that one before? Or have you maybe thought of it, but you've forgotten it? Or maybe it's just, it's something that's been a passing thought. But it's so important. It's not talked enough about in the self-love community, that it really needs to involve all 4 parts, but then asking yourself how you can provide and serve yourself and during those times of need, and serving each of those 4 parts, right? So it's very important. So now I really need to get into this, because this is crucial as well. And that's that self-love. A lot of people think, okay, well, when you're in a place of self-love, you're in this place of full acceptance, which yes, you are in this place of full acceptance. But that doesn't mean that just because you're in this place of full acceptance, that you're just throwing all the healthy principles that you've set up for yourself out the window and you're just going to eat crap all day. You're just going to eat crap all day. That's not what this means, you guys. Okay? Yes, you can be in a place of acceptance. Yes, you can be in this place of love. And yes, you can enjoy those pleasure foods that you've kind of put in that no category. Yes, you can re-explore those foods again. In fact, I actually encourage it. I absolutely encourage it. Here's going out to you, the person that was talking about those cream eggs. Eat them, because restriction is no place of love. Let me tell you that. But it doesn't mean that you're going and getting drive-through takeout every single day and just eating all of the takeaway food and just eating crap all the time, right? It's not what this means, right? So tell me, are you guys, or is anyone here secretly in this place where you think that you can put self-love on hold for when you reach your ideal weight and size? Are any of you kind of in that place of self-love, yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there when I weigh this much. I'll get there when I'm a size X. Who here is currently feeling that way? And don't feel ashamed if you feel that way. I mean, this journey's tricky. Maybe that's what your thoughts are. Or maybe you have felt that way and maybe you're evolving. If you're thinking that you'll focus on self-love for when you're feeling strong and free and healthy, hit me up in the comments with a yes or a no if that's what you've thought. I want to know where you're at. So it's this massive misconception. I think it's getting better. But it has been this massive misconception that you'll start loving your body when you get to your ideal weight and size. You think all of your problems will be fixed when you get to that place. You think love will just be easier, right? So Kim says, I felt that way in the past, but it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work, because happiness and love is not something that's outside of you. It's always within you, but you have to choose it every single day. You literally have to say, I am choosing to think of this differently. I am choosing to inject more love in here. I am choosing to crank up my inner love dial, right? You have to choose it. Rochelle also says, I used to think that way. And these women have been hanging out with me for a little while, so I'm not surprised that their mind is starting to change, because they're super smart women, and I think they're getting that there's so much more to this than just the physical body, right? And so yeah, there's this huge misconception that you can start loving your body once you get to those ideal weights and sizes. But you have to put self-love at the top of your to-do list. You absolutely have to. Because when you do, you'll start to feel amazing. You'll feel radiant. You'll feel strong. You'll feel vibrant, because you've been loving your body and treating her and giving her the respect that she deserves. Not because you've all of a sudden hit this weight or this goal within what the physical body looks like. You'll feel that way because your vibration will be uplifting. It will be high. You'll be considering all of those 4 components of yourself, right? And you'll be choosing that healthy, nourishing food because of how alive it makes you, and not because it's what fits into your daily allotted calories or macros for the day, right? You're doing it because you're like, I love when I eat foods that work for me. And I'm going to give my body those foods because she deserves what's best, because we are a team. We are a team unit here. I'm supporting her and she is supporting me. So I'm going to take care of her. It's totally different. It's totally different, right? And also, you'll be working out from the same mindset. You'll be working out to feel strong and energetic and to release energy rather than to get a 6-pack or fit into a bikini. Right? It's a totally different space, right? Oh, Dawn just jumped on. Hey, Dawn, what's up? So glad you joined us. Don't worry, you can catch up. The replay will be posted for sure. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that acceptance is key. Acceptance is absolutely key, because even though you don't maybe not fully love everything yet, I did an episode on this a couple weeks ago, that you should definitely rewatch on termoflove.ca. But acceptance is really key here, because if you can meet yourself with where you're at, I think that's really important, because it's going to be that bridge that gets you over to love, right? You cannot hate yourself to love, but you can accept yourself to love, right? There's it's that bridge for sure that kind of gets you to that other side, right? And it's really choosing that right here, right now in this process, this is going to be a part of the journey. Okay. That's what it means. It really means that, like, you're not just going to do the all or nothing mentality. It doesn't have to be black or white. Okay. Because acceptance doesn't mean just saying, F it, like, I'm going to throw all the good habits out the window. I'm just do whatever the F I want and eat whatever the heck I want because I accept myself. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? And I especially want to talk about cheat meals, because I remember being in that place of the black and white, all or nothing thinking that, okay, well, I'm either eating healthy or I'm cheating. Right? Yeah, the whole term cheat meal, that's just total BS, and we need to just get rid of that. If you're using the term cheat meal, you're in a place of dieting. I really don't know how to put it any other way. That is a huge sign that you're in a place of dieting if you are cheating yourself. And like, let's really look at this. Like, if you are, like, encouraging yourself to cheat on yourself and you're looking forward to eating crap, like, you're literally looking forward to eating crap because you've restricted yourself a week. You're like, oh, I'm just going to eat all the crap I can get my hands on. Like, what message are you sending your body? What message are you sending your body by doing that, right? So instead of creating this happy and flexible lifestyle that you're so in love with that you never feel the urge to treat on yourself or your body, you've now said that, like, your body's not worth it, right? So we really have to pay attention, I think, to the message that we're putting out here to ourselves and our bodies. I think it's extremely important on an energetic level, right? So Don says, meeting yourself with where you're at. Yeah, it's extremely important. I don't believe that, you can just kind of turn on and be like, all the love. It doesn't work that way. It's the damn hard work, the deep inner work, like Rochelle said, that we like to go deep. We do. And that's the stuff that's transformative, right? So fill the gap, use that bridge to get you there, because it will get you there, but you just have to be extremely patient. But I don't want you guys thinking that you have to do this all or nothing of eating crap or eating completely restricted and healthy either. That you can find a medium. Okay. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that today in just a minute. But before we get into that, I want to know, have you ever paid attention to how certain foods are actually making you feel? Like, have you actually taken inventory of that? Do you currently know what foods make you feel good and what foods make you feel not so good? If so, let me know in the comments below like maybe 3 foods that make you feel good and 3 foods that make you feel not so good. And this is going to look different for everybody. I know Kim, she's gone through my Reconnect with Food intro program. And I talk a lot about this. I use a tool called the Food Diary. It's not your typical food diary. We don't write anything to do with calories or size amounts, or it doesn't matter specifically what you're eating. It's more like how you're eating it and what's kind of going on behind the foods. And it's just a really great tool to use to kind of get clear and have some clarity around what foods are actually working for your body and what foods maybe are not making you feel so nice. So Rochelle has mentioned that dairy gives her headaches. I feel you there. When I eat dairy, I get extremely bloated. I get stomach cramps for like hours, and I don't feel so good. So I totally feel you there. So it's so good that you've identified that. And I'm sure now you found alternatives that maybe work for you, Rochelle, like maybe nut milks and stuff like that, right? So that's great that you've been able to identify that that doesn't work for you. Kim says it's very beneficial. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, Kim, she did really great with the Reconnect with Food program, and it really helped her. And I find, the Food Diary is extremely beneficial because it gives you that clarity, right? It helps you to meet yourself with where you're at, and just get a better understanding of what it is that works and what doesn't. So Dawn says too much chocolate makes her feel bloated. Yeah, completely. Been there too. It's like milk chocolate with me. When I used to eat milk chocolate, it was probably the dairy again. It would give me stomach aches. So I totally understand that. That's why I'm like a dark chocolate girl through and through. So I totally understand. So you guys are really starting to pay attention. I love that. And I want to encourage you guys to do that more. And I'm going to kind of give you some detail and of how you can kind of get started with that. But my hope is that I want you guys to get to this place where you love and respect your body so much that you are making choices on behalf of her. Not just because you want to look amazing, but because you want to feel amazing as a unit. You and her, soul sisters, side by side, teammates for life, besties for life, whatever you want to call it. I want you guys to work together, right? So when she's speaking to you, I want you to listen, not be like, I want this damn chocolate. I want you to be like, okay, shit. My body's talking to me, even though I'm enjoying the taste of this chocolate. She's not very happy right now. So I'm gonna put this away and just reconsider having this the next time because she's not so happy. And I want my body to be happy, right? So it's really having that like back and forth conversation with yourself, right? Because you are literally the only one who has her back. You have to protect her. You have to honor her. And it's not about doing what you want. It's about listening what she needs, okay? It's really about listening to what she needs and what she's actually asking for, okay? And that's what's so important here is giving her what she's actually asking for. Okay, so I want you guys to really become your own experts. That is what I want. I want you guys to really own this and really understand, okay, how can I be an expert of my body, right? And that's going to look different for everyone. Like I said, it's creating your own formula, okay? You have to become your own expert and decide which foods nourish yourself and which foods don't, okay? And if you do not take this full ownership of these choices, you're going to end up feeling unsure, and maybe even a little bit of judgment. Maybe you even judge because you're judging yourself. Maybe you've been told that sugar is evil and you shouldn't eat sugar. So when you eat sugar, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. This is really bad, right? But maybe when you eat sugar, like, you're okay. Maybe when you eat a little bit of sugar, like, it's not that big of a deal. So I really want you guys to be your own expert. Really explore this yourself. Yes, it's great to take information from practitioners and nutritionists and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, they're not living in your body. You're living in your body, so you know what functions best for you, okay? And on that note too, talking about the judgment, if you are feeling that guilt, it's because you're still kind of stuck in that place of living like the all or nothing, black and white, food is good or bad, right? So it's catching those thoughts in their place and being like, okay, is this black and white? Like, am I being hard on myself here? Am I really judging myself? Because Kim just said it's hard to let go of the judgments. Yeah, and that all has to do with doing the mindset work. So the first step through this is identifying what the heck is going on, right? Getting clear, the awareness, the witnessing, and then it's taking that information and exploring deep and diving into these ingrained thoughts and these ingrained beliefs that have kept us stuck here. And I do a lot of work like that in my one-on-one coaching practice and in the group coaching practice that I'm going to be rolling out soon. So if you guys are wanting to explore this more and go deeper into that kind of work, the mindset work and shifting the judgment and letting go of the black and white thinking, watch the space because that's coming soon because I want to support more women on that next level. But if you're kind of still at the beginning of this journey and you're still kind of trying to figure out what it is that's working and what's not working, then the food diary is a good place to start too. I don't have that listed on my website yet, but if you need it and you want it, feel free to just send me a private message and I can get it to you. It's only like $20. So let me know. But either way, guys, it's so incredibly important to know what foods are working for you and what foods aren't. So maybe you start a list. Maybe you really start to pay attention over the next little while and you really just have a look at, okay, what foods are working, what foods aren't. Just have 2 columns, right? And with that being said, you guys know that I do not believe in a place of restriction at all by any means. So I don't want you to think because there's a food that doesn't work for you that means that you can never eat it again, that you'll never eat it again in this lifetime. No, that's not what's happening. It just means that right now, while you're learning to trust yourself and to love your body and to understand what works for and what doesn't, it just isn't working for you right now until you develop that healthy lifestyle of understanding what works for you, right? So it's just for right now. It's not for forever. It's your body. It's your damn choice. You can have whatever you want, whenever you want. The end of the day, right? So don't even put it into that category of I can never have it, okay? So thank you guys for watching today. I just totally dumped a ton of stuff on you guys. I'm hoping that it was enlightening. It was new information that you had not heard before, or it gave you a reminder of some clarity of some things that you need to revisit. I would love to know from you guys, if you're still here watching the live episode, let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today's conversation. I want to know what you gained from today's conversation and how you're going to start loving your body by doing what's best for her. I'd love to hear more about that. And if you have not yet, again, I'm going to bring this up again because it's going to be good, joined us for the Back to Love Challenge. It's kicking off on Monday, February 26th. That's this upcoming Monday. I'm opening the doors to the group tomorrow, so we can kickstart a pre-party in there. And I'm gonna actually be setting up something this year of accountability because it's gonna be a small intimate group, which I love. I love small intimate groups. I've decided that I'm gonna, like last minute, just yesterday, I was like, okay, we should have like something where we have accountability partners, since it's a 5-week long challenge. So that's gonna be rolling out this time around. It's 5 weeks long rather than 5 days. It's going to be really exciting. We have her own group specifically for the challenge, so that way we can just kind of keep everything all in one place. And I'm going to be going live every single week. I'm going to be answering live questions and answers, VIP style. So there's going to be a lot of goodness going down, I think, in the next 5 weeks. And I'm so excited to explore and hold space for you guys. So if you're feeling like these are the kind of conversations you want to have more of, if you want to get back to a place of self-love and self-acceptance, if you've been struggling with your self-esteem and your confidence, and you really want to learn how to really, really deeply master this whole self-love thing, join us in the Back to Love Challenge, because it's going to be good, my girl. It's going to be really good. The links are everywhere. If you're watching on Facebook, I've added a banner to the top of my Facebook page that you can click on, and the link to sign up is there. Or if you're watching on Instagram, you can check out the link in my bio, or private message me and ask for the link. Whatever, you guys, figure it out. It's the world of social media. If you want it, you'll find it. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you guys for joining. Some of you guys have to rewatch the replay. No worries at all. Rochelle says she loved the reminder of being aware. Yeah, that's a really good constant reminder that we always need, every single one of us. Silva just jumped on. Hi, beautiful. Thanks for joining. She's going to catch the replay. No worries. And if you are subscribed to my mailing list, I also send the replays out there as well, because I know that we're tuning in from all different time zones all across the world. So we all kind of need some reminders sometimes. Anyways, it was so great catching up with you guys. I will catch you guys next week for the Back to Love Challenge. I'm going to be going live on my Facebook page for the Back to Love Challenge. So you guys will be able to catch up with me there. But if you want to get in on all the juicy goodness, then you're going to want to sign up and get inside the group. Okay, guys? I will see you next week, and we'll see you inside the challenge tomorrow. Bye for now.